Where are they, bro? Bro, they're gonna die.
Hostile activity. Resume securing the container once the secure the container. You have found the biohazard container. Proceed to its location. Op 4 neutralized. Mission successful.
Wow. Shots on me.
Two bras for sure. Offering you food.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay. That sounds pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good.
We need to protect the biohazard container. Secure the room.
Two bras for sure.
Top critics on Rotten Tomatoes love certified fresh.
Camera feed up and running.
Bravo.
Hey, everyone, this is Train Crave here and today's
Hola, todo el mundo, esto es Train Crazy y vamos a hacer un nuevo video que cómo ser Fidel Castro. No, mentira.
I guess I was gonna say not like, but I guess they literally did get boned because they got boned. I meant that more from a legal perspective.
That
Biohazard
sucks.
container location unknown. 29-year-old woman or guy sleeping with a fucking 15-year-old student. You're obviously gonna get in trouble if you get caught because it's a pedophilia issue with the law type of thing, especially when you're being a fucking teacher. There's a bunch of different situations on this list and stuff like that. Teachers and students who only did stuff together a couple times, and then ones who thought they were in love, like, you know, little 17-year-old Gary's in love with 5-year-old Gladys. Surprisingly, not a lot of relationships like this even work out. No big surprise. You know what relationships do work out? You, your finger, your mouse, and the like button. So go ahead and click that like. It's a great 10
I like that one. Okay.
One friendly remaining.
Oh my god. Well, I should have threw my seat forward.
Mission failure.
Well, they want to use Jocko, huh? They want to use him, huh? I'll use him. I'll use him too. Clash Royale.
Below and tell me, do you have any like Miss Gladys's of your own? If you know somebody that has a Miss Gladys, or maybe they've got a Mr. Ron Jeremy or some bullshit like that. But let's go ahead and get into this top 5. And in the number 5 spot, we've actually got 2 different teachers in this one. One's a 38-year-old and one is 30 years old. They're both girls, and they slept with an 18-year-old guy who's a student, obviously, at their high school.
11th grader Daniel Sullivan couldn't believe it when he heard English teacher Melody Lippert was arrested. Police said she had sex with a student.
I had Miss Lippert my freshman year, and she never seemed like the type of teacher like that.
Police say Lippert met up with an 18-year-old male student 2 times at San Clemente Beach in November. The second time was a camping trip where she brought fellow teacher Michelle Gorelli, and Lippert's victim brought his friend.
Specific teacher I'd heard about, and she reported it.
Lippert and Gorelli were arrested Saturday. Police say since Lippert's victim was an adult, she was arrested on suspicion of conspiracy and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Gorelli was arrested for unlawful sex with a minor, leaving students and parents with a lot of questions. Now, both teachers did post bond on Sunday. As for Lippert, right now he is on paid administrative leave.
Reach up.
Secure the container. Op 4 eliminated. Friendly mission successful.
I don't have aimbot, guys. Should I be Valkyrie again? Yeah, let's be Valkyrie. Doing so good.
Steve Gorelli is on unpaid leave because of the severity of the allegations against him.
Moving on to number 4, we've got one that should probably be a little bit higher up on the list because it's just a crazy fucking story. But I think most of the other ones on the list are all high school students or above, you know, like above the 15-year-old mark. But this one is a middle school student, and this student is 13 years old. Yeah, you heard that right. This 13-year-old boy had sex with his 24-year-old teacher, who's obviously a girl. But this one is just kind of mind-boggling, kind of mind-blowing to me because, like I said, all the other ones on this list are pretty much like high school or above. They're 13 years old having sex with a kid that's just like pedophile shit right there. It's kind of fucked up. That's only the tip of the iceberg right there. This story just takes another twist and turn real quick. So what happened was, after these two like had their little like situation and they got caught, it was figured out that the teacher was pregnant. So the 13-year-old got his 24-year-old teacher pregnant, which I just think that's just fucking crazy.
We just found out that 24-year-old Alexandria Vetta is now out on bond, but she's been on administrative leave from Stovall Middle School since last month. This is her mugshot from this morning. After she turned herself in, Vetta faces felony child sex abuse charges and jail time. She and the boy, who was just 13 years old when it all started, reportedly had sex daily for 9 months, and Vetta got pregnant. Then Aldine ISD middle school teacher reportedly told investigators that the boy's parents were excited about the unborn child and even welcomed her to their family gatherings with open arms. Vetta also reportedly said it began by messaging each other on Instagram and that the boy would say inappropriate things to her that she initially would tell him to stop. Vetta is also said to have told authorities she eventually caved in and that the two kissed in her car, then had sex for the very first time in the boy's home. After that, they supposedly began having sleepovers at Vetta's home. CPS showed up at Stovall Middle School to question her, and Vetta apparently became nervous and told investigators she then had an abortion. She does have a 4-year-old daughter. We're also told that CPS is now investigating the mother of that student.
Heading over to number 3, this is another really interesting one. It's kind of similar to the last one, except it's got some different circumstances, of course. But this one is a 17-year-old student. It's a guy as well, and he slept with his teacher. I don't really know how old the teacher is. She's kind of an older one, I presume probably in mid-late 30s. Something like that. I don't have a fucking clue. This one's a bit more of a love story, I guess, because these two, they ended up getting caught. They figured out somehow. I presume it's because the teacher ended up getting pregnant, just like the last one, and is going to go through and actually have that baby. They're not going to get an abortion or something like that. But the student is still in love with the teacher. The teacher's still in love with the student, so they still want to get back together after she's out of prison, because I think she goes to prison like a year.
Steve, the two say they are in love and they want a life together. Kelly Watson was sent to jail here earlier today, but she'll be released early in April to give birth the same time the father turns 18.
5 seconds to go.
34-year-old Kelly Watson was extremely emotional in court. Her attorney says she is very much in love with her former teenage student and father of her unborn child.
With the pregnancy, she now is open about the fact that she's in love with him.
Oh my god, bro. Fuck it. They wanna do that?
Secure the room. Protect the biocontainer. Op 4 last operator standing.
probation and said that she wants him in her life, not just for the child, but for herself.
Police say Watson met the boy named Anthony when he was a student in her class at New Haven Residential in Vista, a facility that serves boys with learning challenges. The 17-year-old boy told the court he is in love with Watson and is looking forward to the birth of his baby. He also asked for leniency and no jail time, but the judge slapped the teacher with probation and a 1-year jail sentence that started today. Though guilty, she will not register as a sex offender.
Moving on to number 2, we've got a teacher who had a sexual relationship with a 15-year-old student, and these two did a lot together, and this is on Dr. Phil, so it's Dr. Phil doing an interview with her, and her story and like her recounts of all the situations and stuff like that, it was just all over the place. One thing would be this, one thing would be that, she'd get things mixed up, and I was really kind of confused by it, to be honest with you. I'm not really sure if she was lying a lot or what it was. By the way, I just want to point something out real quick, just so I don't get some people real fucking mad at me for something. I just realized pretty much every single one on this list is a girl teacher and a boy student. I did not try to do that when I was making this list, trust me. The thing about it is, when I was making the clips for this list, well, when I was finding those clips, pretty much every single one of these 95% of them were ones with girls.
Op 4 drone. Biohazard container.
Stupid ass.
Op 4 is securing the biohazard container. Intervene immediately.
Setting C4!
Mission failed. Biohazard container was secured by Op 4.
Well, this sucks.
Teachers and then the boy students, and I don't know why that is, but the guy teacher ones, they were just a lot harder to find, and the ones that I could find were really boring.
He came in, I was working on things, he kept coming closer to me, and I would kind of walk away to the other part, you know, another room, you know, another area of the classroom, and he just walked up to me, and then he kissed me, and then it just kind of went from there.
How long did this encounter last?
I mean, he was probably in my room for, I don't know, maybe 2 hours, I guess.
Find the biohazard container
How long
location.
was the inappropriate part?
I'd say maybe 10 or 15 minutes.
Had he ever kissed you off campus anywhere or anything like that?
No, there was nothing before that.
So it went to going full out.
No, he did kiss me maybe 2 or 3 days before it happened. That was the first time he had kissed me.
When was the next time that you had sex with the boy?
After I resigned, it was probably 3 weeks after that, I guess. We would just drive around in the country.
And did you do this frequently?
I wouldn't say frequently, maybe about 6 times.
And finally, the number 1 spot, we've got a teacher who is 29 years old. She's a girl, and she slept with a 17-year-old student who is a guy, and she did things completely wrong.
Oh, damn. Yeah, let's not surrender.
Wrong, all that kind of stuff. Which, to be honest with you, after you see this interview, because it's another one on Dr. Phil, you'll understand that this lady's just a fucking idiot, okay? Personally, from my standpoint, she's just a dumbass. And she's also very, very thirsty to just an extreme extent. Like, she was thirsty for some fucking dick.
One of the text messages, I explained that I was tired, and then he did reply back, I give good massages, and I said, oh really, that would be nice. I didn't think it was wrong. It never once felt like I was talking to a child. I wasn't thinking, wait a minute, I'm a teacher, because I felt this was all happening outside of school. We decided to meet up. He came over to my house at 3 o'clock in the morning. There's a knock at the door. I let him in, and then we did go immediately to the bedroom that following Tuesday. When I was called into the principal's office, she sat me down and said that a video had surfaced of a student at the school and a coach having sex. He had his phone in his pocket, and then while having sex, he pulled it out, and I didn't see it.
So this wasn't an impulse thing. You had been texting for 3 weeks, right? Mm-hmm. You say you didn't know it was wrong.
Well, I'm saying I didn't think it was legally wrong. And then my mother's coworker also, her niece had the video, and that's how we saw it for the first time.
You saw it with your mother?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Well,
I don't know how I'd watch something like that with my mother.
Those are the clips that I have for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, make sure you like the video. If we can break 10,000 likes, that would be insanely awesome. I really appreciate you guys.
Matt Damon. The Great Wall, open May 23rd.
Hey everyone, this is Trent Crave here, and in today's video, we're going to be going through the top 5 prisoners and inmates who saved guards and officers' lives. And for whatever reason, these officers were either getting attacked or they were having a heart attack or some fucking thing like that. And these inmates went and stepped up their game and saved these officers' lives. Like, if these inmates hadn't have stepped up, these officers could very well be dead, and for some of them, they would be dead for sure. Now, even though saving a guard or an officer is the noble thing to do, it's the right thing to do. I'm not saying anything against that. I just thought it was funny because pretty much every single person that did this on this list actually got their sentence reduced. So if you ever get into a little fucking pickle, maybe you're stealing a lady named Nancy, your neighbor's fucking cookies from her cookie jar or something like that, and she calls the cops on you and you get arrested, just go ahead and save an officer and you get a bit of time taken off of your sentence. You'll get out of there real quick, just a little bit of probation and shit like that. That's kind of a pro tip right there. But anyways, before we actually get into this list, I really appreciate if you guys
now I'm gonna broadcast on
7,500 likes. That would be insane.
Zombie Chronicle.
Appreciate that. But let's go ahead and get into this top 5. And in the number 5 spot, we've got one that's not super crazy, but this guy was in booking, and then all of a sudden this police officer just completely collapsed, and he started yelling for people and eventually got some help.
While booking Rutledge, Officer Folks collapsed to the ground, clutching his chest. Even though he was handcuffed, Rutledge didn't hesitate to assist the man who had put him in cuffs in the first place. Rutledge can be seen walking towards Folks. Quickly, he tries to notify anyone within shouting distance. Unsure if he's being heard, he kicks the gated security door of the booking office. Rutledge was successful in alerting Sergeant Todd Blunden, who radioed police dispatch for help. Officers Raymond Ketchmark and Robert Norvis responded to the radio call. Norvis removed Folks' shirt, and Ketchmark used an automated external defibrillator to jumpstart Folks' heart. A fire and rescue team eventually arrived and took Officer Folks to nearby Broward Health Medical Center. Folks survived. Doctors at Broward stated that Rutledge's decision to take quick action and notify the other officers ultimately saved Folks' life.
Moving on to number 4, we've got an inmate named Antonio Brown. He saved a guard from getting attacked. And it's not a super crazy one, but I just want to say this real quick. You know how I said before that